Blessing, man. There's so much that's gone into it. I think everybody knows how I feel about the silver and black and my commitment to being the best in the world at what I do and being the best leader and winning. That's truly all that matters. And taking a lot of time to self-reflect, how I can improve on and off the field and be the best version of myself. And I want to be here. You know what I mean? I want to win here. I look at guys like Kobe Bryant.
Raider Nation, let's set the stage. Picture this. Max Crosby, our fearless defensive end, sitting down with Johnny Manziel on the Glory Days podcast, dropping truth bombs about Shadur Sanders. The 2025 NFL Draft was a roller coaster, and Shadur's slide to the 5th round shocked the football world. Max, a longtime friend of the Sanders family, didn't hold back. He's got a unique perspective, and he's calling out the noise around Shadur. Why did teams pass on this talented QB? Stick with me, because this story's got layers. Max and Shadur go way back, connected through family ties and a bond that started long before either hit the NFL spotlight. Max's brother played with Deion Sanders' eldest son, Bucky, at SMU, and Max met Deion at his Dallas home years ago. That's the kind of history that gives Max a front-row seat to Shadur's journey. So, when he talks, Raider Nation listens. The draft buzz around Shadur was insane. Once a projected top 10 pick, he plummeted to pick 144 with the Cleveland Browns. Why? Max has a theory, and it's not just about Shadur's tape. He's hinting at something bigger, something tied to Deion's larger-than-life persona. Are teams sleeping on Shadur's potential? Let's dig deeper. So what's the deal? Did the Raiders make the right call passing on Shadur? Or is there more to this story? Drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about Shadur's draft slide? Keep it locked, because we're just getting started with this Raiders news. All right, let's talk about Max Crosby's hot take. He said teams put Shadur in a box because of his dad, Deion Sanders. That's a bold claim, Raider Nation. Max is suggesting NFL teams let Deion's flashy persona and media circus cloud their judgment. Shadur's arm talent, poise, and 72% completion rate at Colorado. 7,364 yards, 64 touchdowns, only 13 picks, screams starter potential. So why the 5th round? Max isn't just throwing shade. He's got a point. He compared Shadur's situation to Brock Purdy, the Mr. Irrelevant who signed a $265 million deal with the 49ers. Draft position doesn't define you. It's what you do after. Max, drafted 106th himself, knows this better than anyone. He's basically saying, give Shadur a shot, and he'll prove the haters wrong. But here's the kicker. The Raiders passed on Shadur, too. Instead, they grabbed Boise State's Ashton Jeanty at number 6 and North Dakota State's Cam Miller in the 6th. Was that the right move for Las Vegas? Max seems all in on the Raiders' vision. But could Shadur have been the spark our offense needs? What do you think, Raider Nation? Should we have taken chance on Shadur? Or is Max right to trust the process? Hit the comments and let's debate this one. Let's zoom in on Shadur's draft slide. It was brutal. Projected as a top 10 pick, he's waiting and waiting until the Browns snag him at 144. Max said Shadur was calling him every day during the draft, half joking he'd fall past Max's own 106 pick. Imagine the pressure, Raider Nation. Your name's not called, and the world's watching. Yet Shadur handled it like a pro, all smiles. Johnny Manziel, who knows a thing or two about hype and pressure, was blown away. He admitted he couldn't have stayed as cool as Shadur did. I wouldn't have handled it like he did, Johnny said on Glory Days. That's high praise from a guy who lived under the NFL's brightest spotlight. Shadur's resilience is something special. But here's where it gets juicy. Some NFL insiders, per posts on X, say teams shied away from Shadur because of the noise around him. Is that code for Deion's larger-than-life shadow? Or maybe teams question Shadur's readiness? Either way, Max is in his corner, calling the distraction label unfair. Raider Nation, do you buy the too much noise excuse? Or did teams just miss on a QB who could have been a game changer? Let me know below. Now let's talk Johnny Manziel's take because it's a big deal. The former Browns QB, once dubbed Johnny Football, knows what it's like to be a polarizing prospect. He's got no skin in the game here, but he's hyping Shadur up, saying he's going to do well. I really think so. Why? Because Shadur loves the game, something Manziel admitted he lacked in his NFL days. Manziel pointed out Shadur's work ethic. We're talking a guy who stayed late after Brown's minicamp, grinding extra reps. That's the kind of hustle Raider Nation respects. Shadur's not just coasting on his dad's name. He's putting in the work. Manziel believes that passion could make him a starter in Cleveland. But here's the Raiders angle. We went with Geno Smith and Cam Miller instead. Max, on his podcast The Rush, doubled down on Geno as the long-term answer, saying he's 34, but QBs age differently. He's going to be here for a while. Is Max throwing shade at Shadur, or just backing the Raiders' plan? What's your vibe, Raider Nation? Is Geno the guy, or should we have rolled the dice on Shadur? Drop your take in the comments. Let's get real about the Raiders' draft strategy. Las Vegas had the number 6 pick and went with Ashton, jeanty, a running back who racked up 2,601 yards at Boise State. Smart move considering our league-worst 1,357 rushing yards in 2024. But passing on Shadur raised eyebrows. Max is all in, saying, "I like how we drafted, bro. We got some dogs." That's our guy, hyping up the new regime. New GM John Spytek, head coach Pete Carroll, and minority owner Tom Brady are building something special. Max loves their vision, and the jeanty pick signals a focus on a punishing ground game. But whispers on X and sites like The Athletic suggested Shadur could have been a day too steal for us. Did we miss out? Shadur's now in Cleveland, competing with Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, and Joe Flacco for the starting gig. Max thinks Shadur's got the mindset to win that battle, but it's a crowded QB room. Meanwhile, our QB room has Geno and Cam Miller. Is that enough to compete in the AFC West? Raider Nation, let's talk strategy. Did we nail the draft, or should we have grabbed Shadur? Hit the comments and weigh in. Hold up, Raider Nation, there's a twist. Shadur's draft slide wasn't just about his dad's shadow. NFL insider Albert Breer, on Cleveland's 92.3 The Fan, hinted that Shadur sandbagged some combined interviews, especially with teams he didn't want to play for. That's a risky move. Did he misjudge his draft stock, or was he betting on landing in the right spot? Max didn't touch this drama directly, but he's clear. Shadur's a baller who got a raw deal. It doesn't matter where you're drafted, Max said, pointing to his own journey and Purdy's rise. He's got love for Shadur, calling him my little brother. That loyalty makes you wonder if Max was secretly hoping the Raiders would snag him. The Raiders, though, went a different route. Pete Carroll's all about balance, saying he loves multiple guys in the backfield per Yahoo Sports. Jeanty's the centerpiece, but Geno's experience gives us stability. Still, a young QB like Shadur could have been a long-term investment. What's the move, Raider Nation? Did Shadur's interview antics hurt him, or is he still a future star? Let's hear your thoughts. Let's pivot to Max Crosby himself, because he's the heart of this Raiders squad. Fresh off a $106.5 million extension in March 2025, he's locked in as our defensive cornerstone. Despite an injury-plagued 2024 with his lowest sack total since 2020, Max is hyped for a redemption year. He's working with Pete Carroll and DC Patrick Graham, a combo that's got him fired up. Max's leadership is next level. At the Raiders Media Day on June 9th, 2025, he was all smiles, praising the new roster and coaching staff. "We're all in," he said, per Heavy.com. That energy's contagious, Raider Nation. But his comments about Shadur show he's not just focused on defense. He's got an eye on the bigger picture. Back to Shadur, Max's defense of him feels personal. He's seen Shadur grow up, and he's not buying the distraction narrative. Could Max's support hint at a future where Shadur faces the Raiders as a Brown? Imagine that matchup. Raider Nation, how hyped are you for Max in 2025? And do you think Shadur could haunt us down the line? Drop your predictions below. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Shadur's rough start in Cleveland. Just days ago, on June 17th, 2025, Daily Mail reported he got cited for speeding over 100 miles per hour in Cleveland. Not the headline you want as a rookie. It's fueling the distraction narrative Max called unfair. Is Shadur just young and reckless? Or is the pressure getting to him? Max, ever the big brother, isn't fazed. He's seen Shadur's grit, from his 64 TDs at Colorado to his poise during the draft slide. Johnny Manziel doubled down, saying Shadur's work ethic sets him apart. But with Cleveland's crowded QB room, Shadur's got to stay focused to win that starting job. The Raiders, meanwhile, are banking on Geno Smith's veteran presence. Max's praise for Geno, he's our guy, shows he's bought into the plan. But if Shadur balls out in Cleveland, will we regret passing on him? The AFC West is a gauntlet, and we need every edge. Raider Nation, what's your take? Is Shadur's speeding ticket a red flag, or just a rookie mistake? Let's talk in the comments. Let's zoom out and look at the Raiders' big picture. The 2025 offseason was wild. New GM, new coach, Tom Brady as a minority owner, and a draft haul headline by Ashton Jeanty. Max is all in, saying Brady, Carroll, Spytek, they've got a vision. That vision skipped a flashy QB like Shadur for a gritty runner like Jeanty. Smart or safe? Shadur's slide, per Sporting News, stunned teams like the Giants, Raiders, and Browns. Some say his lack of intricate knowledge hurt him, but Max and Manziel aren't buying it. They see a kid with heart, talent, and a chip on his shoulder. If he starts for Cleveland, we'll face him in 2025. Talk about a storyline. The Raiders' defense, led by Max, is poised for a bounce back. After losing half their starters in free agency, per Marca, Crosby's leadership is key. But our offense needs to step up, and Geno's got big shoes to fill. Did we miss a chance to pair Max's fire with Shadur's flair? Raider Nation, are we building a contender, or did we play it too safe? Drop your hot takes below. All right, Raider Nation, let's wrap this up with a bang. Max Crosby's got Shadur Sanders back, calling out the NFL for boxing him in because of Dion. Shadur's in Cleveland now, ready to prove the doubters wrong. Meanwhile, our Raiders are banking on Geno, Jeanty, and a revamped roster to make noise in 2025. The question is, did we make the right call, or will Shadur make us pay? This is what makes Raider Nation special. We live for the drama, the passion, and the grind. Max's loyalty to Shadur shows the kind of heart this team's built on. Whether it's Crosby chasing QBs or Jeanty bulldozing defenders, we're ready for a wild season. But we need your voice, Raider Nation. What's next for Shadur? Will he start for the Browns? Or is he stuck behind Flacco and Pickett? And how do you feel about our draft moves? Smash that like button, drop a comment with your predictions, and let's get this video trending. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and share this with every Raiders fan you know. This is Las Vegas Raiders news, and we're just getting started. Until next time, Raider Nation, let's ride.